There's Brian Sebastian, Movie Reviews and More, the Women's Broadcast TV Network, WomenOnTV.tv, iTube 247 out of Franklin, Tennessee. And I've been wanting to put this show together for a long time because not only do we have my beautiful co-host out of Tennessee, Jessica Heim, as usual, but we have my good friend Greg, who I haven't seen in a long time. All right, so Greg, tell us who you are so Jessica knows who you are.
I am Greg Gerard. I'm the executive director of the Beloit International Film Festival in beautiful Beloit, Wisconsin. We're located on the state line, about 90 minutes northwest of Chicago, and about 20 minutes north of Rockford, Illinois. So yeah, we've been in existence for about 15 years, and I'm just sitting here in my office. It's about 85 degrees outside, and I'm wearing a sweater because it's cold in here. But yeah, so our festival takes place in July every year, or July. It takes place in February every year. I wish it took place in July. And we are we finished our festival before all the mayhem broke loose, for the pandemic. So we got lucky. A lucky nonprofit. And but we're a year-round operation. So I'm writing for grants and putting together some possible summer outdoor programs. We're gonna try a drive-in movie a little bit later in the summer. And who knows, it could turn into a cottage industry for us here, because I'm getting a lot of requests for drive-ins. We have one of those huge inflatable screens.
Yep.
You can just blow it up in the parking lot and wave them in, So we'll have to see how the summer progresses. I know that I'm also looking into, what if this persists, and we end up having to do a virtual festival.
And
God,
Jessica,
that's not going to be the case.
BIFF, BIFF.org is known as the Sundance of the Midwest. And it truly is. It's a beautiful town. Is it, Greg, is it still 36,000 or is it going up 1,000?
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
36,000 people.
It's a wonderful film festival. It really is beautiful. So Greg, Jessica, Victoria, who you know, and Katerina, who you don't know, and one of the other girls will be one of the girls that come up. If everything goes the way it is, and I already started telling them, and they already said yes, because they've been hearing me talk about it for a couple years. When I met Jessica last year, and almost this time, it would be 2 weeks from the day now in Tennessee. Jessica was one of the ones who drove us to do a show in Tennessee, and she came to our workshop. That was. We had 40 people in it, so it was sold out in that room, which was great. And it was an honor because she bailed us out, Greg. So I said, I'm going to help you. You're going to be one of the shows. So Greg, one of the shows that she was on ended up getting 2,700 views in, 2 weeks still right now, Jessica? You don't know, it's still climbing. Yeah, it is.
I don't know. I have no idea. I'm still not quite sure why, but I'm not complaining about it. I am mad.
Greg, when you see why, you'll understand. So Jessica, tell us what you've done so Greg has an idea what you are. Because Greg is he's a great, guitar player himself. Obviously Grammy nominated. So talk about what you do, what you were doing on cruise ships and how, everything like that.
Alrighty. Well, see, I'm so curious about Greg. I'm going to try to make mine as short and as succinct as possible, which is really hard for me to do. So long story short, I've been performing all my life. I love live theater. I started as a singer, a vocalist. I started singing when I was in church, itty bitty. I've loved it ever since. I was in all of the creative ministry teams and all those things then. And then through high school, college, did all that fun stuff. And since then, after I ended up working in the music industry side of things in publishing for about 4 years in Nashville, I started my nomadic life on cruise ships. And from then on out, I've been all over the place. Cruise ships, I lived in New York City. Obviously back in Tennessee for the time being, but who knows where the wind will take me next, literally. So that's me in a nutshell. Help, I'm in a nutshell.
Yeah, we have parallel careers. Most of my career was spent in the music business.
Okay.
And I'm still like loosely involved in the music business. I have a recording project I'm working on. Just came up, Brian. So I'm still in there. But I, by virtue of a relationship that dates back to my college days, a guy that I was in the music business with for many, many years, and then he got into the film festival business, and so then he couldn't do it without me. So I joined into the film festival business about 15 years ago, and now my friend Rod, who Brian you know, is not doing film festivals, and I have assumed control of his film festival. So now I'm I worked my way up the ladder for 15 years here doing this, but a musician as well all the way along, and I still do gigs every now and then, although they're kind of few and far between these days.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you said that, because I was going to ask how you transitioned. I knew that you were primarily in the entertainment music side of things first, and so I was curious how you made that transition into the film world, and you just told us already without me asking.
Yeah, I've done a lot of, obviously in the music business, you learn how to operate equipment and be able to run mixing boards, and you just get kind of tech savvy. So I did a lot of that for the festival, and then being a songwriter and a creative person, I guess it wasn't that difficult to transition from understanding how a good song gets put together and how a good film gets put together. It's, storytelling and just using your critical instincts. So I became a programmer then, and I've been programming the festival for myself for the last 3 years, I guess, basically. And so that's it. It's all entertainment business, right? It's still all pleasing people, and so it wasn't that difficult to transition.
And Beloit, Greg, you said Beloit had a great festival this past year, right?
Yeah, we had the best ever.
Talk
best
about
one
that.
yet.
Well, talk about that. Why do you think it was different? What did you add to it?
I think that sometimes it's just the climate is right. Like I said, we were lucky that the whole business with the coronavirus and COVID-19 was just sort of in the periphery at that time. And this year, of course, was our 15th anniversary, so it made the sale of it a little bit easier. People, they appreciated the fact that we'd been able to keep this thing running for 15 years, and I think really came out to celebrate that with us. We had a big kickoff party this year that included all of our biggest donors and benefactors, and all of the founders of the festival were there.
Oh, that's
and
good.
It was really kind of a love fest to kick off the festival the night before it started. And I think that probably added to the excitement this year for the festival. And I also think that it's just been growing consistently over the last few years. I think our marketing is working better. I think we're getting smarter about marketing the festival. I think that, and certainly the quality of films that we're getting now is just that much better. We're getting where we might have had, a couple of films that really resonated in a big way. Now we're finding that we're having, maybe 10 or 12 films in the, we have all good films, of course, but the ones that are really do great box office for us. I think it's because the films are just, the quality of films getting better. More good filmmakers are learning about our festival. We're still a boutique operation here. You mentioned Sundance. We still operate some of our stuff out of restaurants and bars. Our venues are either part of a restaurant bar setting, in many cases, which, it makes it great for our downtown, and it makes it interesting for our film goers because they're in an environment where it's sort of unique, and also there's food and beverage available, you know, and that you can sit down and have a beer and go in and see your film, even take a sandwich with you. And all of our, you know, the downtown of Beloit is a really cool place. It's you've been here before, Brian. The last time you were here, well, you won't recognize a lot of it when you return to Beloit because there's been so much improvement. But anyway, I think that those things combined, I think, gave us a really, really rockin' festival this year. And I just hope that we can. Fauci said we're going to have that. We're going to have that antidote on the 1st of January. So I'm going with Dr. Fauci, and hopefully that will that'll put us right back where we were last year in a good spot for the festival.
Jessica,
Well, there's something to be said, I think, for I mean, even though it is small, people like that. If it's more intimate and you feel more close knit, and things maybe even might seem more meaningful because it is on a smaller scale, and you feel like you can receive it better, you know, or share it better. So I love that, and you can never go wrong with food and drink. Let's be honest. So
Yeah.
if you got a good old meal and a nice beverage to sip on while you're watching a good movie, I mean, win-win.
Yeah, you're right, and our festival is a walkabout festival. So you park one time, and then you can walk all the way. It's easy enough to walk to all the venues, which is a real plus for us. Which makes us a more competitive festival, because you go to Milwaukee or Madison, you have to drive everywhere. You have to drive from venue to venue and find new parking, and this way, everybody's downtown. You're meeting and re-meeting people going to and from venues, and you're chatting about the movie that you just saw. And there are filmmakers all over the place. We have a great turnout by filmmakers at our festival. You don't have to really go hunting for them here. They're all over the place. And you might be sitting next to one at Bushel and Peck's having a latte, you know, and chatting about their film. It's like that's the thing that gives our festival value. And we're looking to add some more venues to the list this year that are also, you know, in the walkability kind of format. If we have to space, for instance, social distance in our venues in February, then having a few more venues downtown also spaced, of course, maybe that'll kind of gain us a few more customers, make it, you know, give us the opportunity to sell maybe not as many tickets, but more tickets than we would if we just stayed with the existing venues. So I don't know. We'll have to see how that works out.
You know, also the other good thing about that is, Jessica, they have good performances. I was really not surprised by that, but I found that really nice because of the intimate setting. I'm thinking of that. Was it a church? You had that great singer. I think she sang opera or something like that, right?
That would have been maybe at the castle.
Yes. Yeah. Beautiful acoustics.
Yeah. Galvin was there. This year we showed the Blues Brothers movie as our sing-along movie at the castle, which is a converted church. It's a beautiful sanctuary, and they've installed a really nice projection system in there, an audio system, and we probably had upwards of 300 people in there. It was packed, and we had a band playing along with the movie. We had a choir in robes singing all the, you know, the R&B hits with Aretha, and and some great vocalists.
That's awesome.
The sing along is one of our flagship events every year, and this year it really I was really happy with it.
Did you get a chance to play along as well, or were you just completely overwhelmed with all the things so you didn't get a chance to play? I was curious if you broke out.
I was wearing a lot of hats. I was there for a while. I introduced the evening and then hung around for a bit, and then I had to run around town to make sure everything else was working right and stopping it up. But no, I did not get a chance to perform with the band. but it was, it was fun to watch. People were dancing. I mean, people at a movie theater getting out of their seats and dancing in the aisles to the songs. I mean, I think that's, it's so much fun. So we're hoping, I just got to come up with another film for next year. We have live entertainment is an important part. We have bands and entertainment. Every night we have live entertainment for our film goers and filmmakers at the Grand Avenue Pub. They have a live band every night of the 10 nights of the festival. Then
See that, Jessica? There's hope for you.
We could get a book. Yeah, we see.
Always.
We can book you for this.
No, Greg,
I'd love to.
One of the many talents that she may not be talking about is that I think she's a great singer. When John Seinfeld, says sing something, I would normally say that. I'm like, oh, good for John. And then Jessica stepped up. And what did you say, Laverne and Shirley? I think that was great.
I did. Yeah, I did the theme song.
Meal Puffer Incorporated?
Yes.
All right.
On the nose, man. Yeah.
Well, Greg, you know why? Because she used to perform it on a cruise ship for something that she was doing. That's why.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. So the cruise ship thing, that was a kind of a not so great place to be not too long ago. But you managed to get back to shore, I guess.
Well, yeah, I actually I wasn't on a contract at that time. I was in Europe, and so it was still very much, I flew back to the States on March 12th, I think, and that was, I think the very next day, they were starting to shut, borders down, and they were canceling flights. And so I was just hoping I was going to make it back to the States without, having to go through the whole thing. And I did, just by the skin of my teeth. But so thankfully, I was not on a cruise ship when all that happened. And I did have a lot of friends who were either in rehearsal or they rehearse in Miami, North Miami, or they had just flown out to a ship and then they ended up getting sent home, or there were still others that have been stuck for the whole period, and they're just now getting home. So, my heart goes out to them, and I'm thankful that they're okay, but I know that it's been rough for those performers and crew members,
So when are there some ships going out still now? I mean, are they sending?
No, not now. They've been canceling cruises. They keep extending when they're gonna start cruising again. So right now, I think the focus is just getting all those crew members that have been out there for so long, finally getting them home. And so when they do start going out, it'll probably be I'm assuming and hoping that it'll be a fresh batch that haven't been out there. But no, they haven't been. They've been trying to get everybody home safe first before they revamp and start over again. And I'm guessing too that it's going to be one of those things where it's going to start very slowly and probably with smaller ships as opposed to the larger ones, simply, to avoid all the people all in one location and try to minimize any sort of spread that, might happen again. Hopefully not, but you never know.
Yeah, working musicians have really been a group that's been hit hard. A lot of my friends have been, struggling.
Yeah, I mean, how do they perform aside from doing the good old virtual performance, which is all we've been able to do? Literally, I was going to ask about your year-round, the BIFF year-round program that you do usually. What happened? Is that still a thing? Has that been going on, or has that had to be put on hold as well? What have you guys done with that?
Yeah, our BIFF year-round program is it's typically the Wednesday night independent film night that we've been doing for years now, and it's a really great program. And I know that our regulars are really missing this right now, but we had to suspend operations, and I am working on a plan to see if we can get our indie filmmakers, our people that have been submitting films, because that's what this was all about. It's a way to bring indie films to our film lovers here, but also have a chance to use them as a focus group to see if the films that we're getting and the ones that we're thinking are pretty decent are going to resonate with our audiences. So it's been a great little program for a lot of reasons, but trying to get filmmakers to allow us to show their films on the air with passwords, and that I'm still working on that to find a way to make our filmmakers feel comfortable so they could participate.
Sure.
But you can understand, like, filmmakers are concerned about their intellectual property and about someone recording their film, while it's being broadcast. So I have to find an ironclad way of doing this, and I'm intent on making it happen. But we lost our spring. We lost our spring term. Usually we start in September and we run it right up to Christmas. And then we do the month of January. And then since our festival's in February, we kind of knock off for that month. And then April and May, again, we start up and we do those Wednesday nights. So it's a lot of opportunity for we have a thing called the Film Society of Beloit. So it's one of the main perks of our film society, for our Film Society people. And they've been really good about not complaining too much that they don't have their Wednesday nights right now. We did do, last week we did an event that was with Netflix. And we won't be able to do this every week because it's not every week that Extraction gets released on Netflix and we happen to know one of the producers of the film. So, but that happened last week. It turns out that a former Beloiter who's now in motion picture production was part of this, he was a line producer in Bangladesh for Extraction, the Chris Hemsworth smash hit on Netflix. So we did an event where I invited all of our Film Society members who had a Netflix account to watch the film, and then we had a Zoom Q&A afterwards on a last Wednesday night, not yesterday, but the Wednesday before. Mm-hmm. And Nicholas Simon, this producer friend, his father was a teacher, an art photography teacher, photographic arts professor at Beloit College here. So I don't know, it's just like things just fall in the lap sometimes. So we had a great, it was really cool to talk with him about how the film was made and all the ins and outs and trivia and that whole thing. So I want to do more of those, but we just kind of got lucky with that. But I'm working on it. We're going to see we're going to get them something before too long.
And Jessica, their alumni is really good. Not only that, it's good to see them. They always come back to Beloit because it's kind of like going back home for them, which is good to see. But also, they get great film submissions. Their film submissions were better than Hollywood Film Festival. So they actually fed Hollywood Film Festival, if you can believe that. Hollywood was Hollywood in name outside the U.S., not so much inside the U.S. So when we had the team of Beloit, of Greg and Matt and Rod and Adam come, it was an honor because we all liked each other, and we still do. So that's why I always want to go back there when I can. And if you remember, I said I was going to try to get back there, but I was in Georgia dealing with stuff, so I couldn't get to Beloit that last February, or even this time around, just due to Corona.
Yeah, that's where we got to know Brian as he is the ultimate scrounger expediter dude. I mean, you've never seen anybody work so hard to make everything happen for everybody behind the scenes. It's like, you need this, what do you need? You need that? Okay, I got that. You need that? What else do you need? It's like, where did this guy come from?
Magic.
Those were the good times at the Hollywood Film Festival. Well, we won't go a whole lot deeper into that right now, but hey, it was fun. It was fun, buddy. It was fun.
Yeah, and that's the reason why, Jessica, I tell people around the world, no matter what, that's why I will always support them, because of, Greg and Rod and Max, just great people. And I like that town. I'm definitely going back no matter what, because it's on my schedule, but I'm not going back by myself. That's why I want Jessica to come. That's why I want Victoria to come. Linda Steele from Chicago has said, yes, she's coming in. and then one of the other girls, because I wanted to see what we're doing, but also it's kind of like paying homage to something of what these guys started, because it is really a great film festival, and the timing is right. That's the only film festival that I know that I have confidence in, that because of the timing and when they do it. Perfect timing, and it could work. And I believe it's the only festival that I think that could work due to their timing.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is. They started this thing originally like at the end of January. And I think the founders were so into being a Sundance film festival that I think they kind of even tried to pick the same, I think originally it was like either the week before or the week immediately after Sundance. But over time, we moved it back and back and back a little bit, or more, into the future actually, a little further, because there were weather concerns, and then there was a conflict with the Valentine's Day holiday, just little thing, trying to find the sweet spot. And now I think you're right, it's always the last weekend in February to the first weekend of March. And it's been it's been at least 5 years now that we've been sticking to that schedule, and it's worked out great for us.
So, I was curious, especially with it being in January, is it not freezing still?
Yeah.
Like, are people not just?
Yeah.
I feel like that would be, for me, I think I would rather be cold than hot, because you can always put more layers on and you can only take so much off. But at the same time, being freezing is also very miserable. So, I think that makes so much more sense to make it at least a little bit further down the road.
Yeah, I mean, it's Wisconsin, it's the Midwest, so you can have hardcore winter all the way into April. I think we had snow in Madison in May this year.
Wow.
Like really seriously, like light sprinkling of snow. But just moving it those several weeks later helped out in that regard. Our weather has been pretty decent. It's still, if it's in the 20s, like I said, you don't have to walk too far to get to these different venues. and Wisconsinites and Midwesterners in general are pretty hardy, It's like when the weather gets really bad, Wisconsinites just kind of want to go out in it just for the challenge or something, It's weird. But yeah, it is. There's so little going on around here at that time of the year that the winter doldrums just really wreak havoc on our downtown merchants. The foot traffic is super slow. But so when we roll out the film festival, they get this whole, this little, late winter gift of sorts. And so they love us for that,
Yeah, Jessica,
So
one of the things I liked about it, I love that you could like walk over. I mean, the scenery is beautiful. The last time I saw Greg and Max, I got a chance outside the film festival just to go walk around, and it was nice. And I love going to like the Ironworks. It's a beautiful hotel there. If I remember, that's the name of it. It was fun walking over the bridge. It's just really eclectic. I found it really nice, but I know you'll like it, Jessica, because I can see you performing. I see you singing with Greg if he has time already. I see it happening. So.
That'd be awesome.
I know a guy.
You know a guy?
Yeah.
I know.
and so we could, we'll hook like something like that up. But yeah, you're right. It's like I said, the walkabout factor is. It's the edge that we have on the bigger festivals in our region, because it just becomes a very warm and friendly environment. Like I said, people meeting on the streets and all that kind of thing. Now we're gonna. Do you remember the Angel Museum, Brian?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the Angel Museum was a museum of angel statues, like ceramic statues, little. In fact, Oprah Winfrey at one point said, "Why are there no black angels? They're all white angels. I want black angels." And she got this huge influx and collection of black angels which was fantastic. And then she's like, well, where am I going to put them now? So she found out about the Angel Museum in Beloit, and that's where she put them. They were here for years. And but alas, the Angel Museum just could not, once again, is a nonprofit, and they had to fold. So all that stuff was sold to another museum, I guess. And good thing is that that's another church which has a sanctuary, and now Visit Beloit's going to go in there, our tourism operation here in Beloit, and they want that sanctuary to be another BIFF venue, and that could be a venue on a 200-seater possibly in February as well. And then just 2 blocks down from that, the once again, Brian, I'll pick your brain. Do you remember that big Alliant powerhouse on the river with the big giant stack? The college took that over, and they've converted that into what they call the powerhouse, and it is a kind of a combination of a workout area, study area. They've got food and beverage places in there. They built a 200-seat theater in there. So we're anxious to be able to add that on as another venue. So that means we would have actually 4 venues downtown that are in the 200-seat range, which makes
so many great spaces. Yeah. Ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah. So that's where we're headed. If all goes well, that's where we're going with this.
So Jessica, we got about 3 minutes left. So what little you know of Greg, would you go to BIFF with me, for one? Me and the other girls.
Of course.
And then the other thing, what would you sing to Greg of what you know of him now? What song would you sing to him? I'm curious.
You're a terrible man.
Wow. I mean, it's because we didn't actually talk about the type of music that he played. We just know that he played. So I would have to know a little bit more about that. So that's not a fair question, Brian.
Yeah, I mean, what's your genre? Are you typically contemporary pop singer or R&B?
Not especially. I mean, having done so much musical theater, I would definitely call myself a musical theater nerd. However, I really enjoy jazz, and I love standards. Because I don't mind riffing and all that stuff, but I'm also much more of just a straight delivery. I don't want to give you too much, because I need to give you something to latch onto and hold on to for a second before I'm off into another realm. So I do enjoy standards. Yeah. How about you? What did you play? Like, how did you?
I'm really eclectic. I'm a songwriter, so I have had to write for a lot of different genres over the years. So I've written everything from, jazz to obscure alternative to, country music. I mean, I've written all kinds. And I come from a rural area in north central Wisconsin, so I grew up on a lot of country music up there. But, I'm kind of all over the map, really. I like to sing. I've got decent chops. I'm not, I can riff a little, but, a man's got to know his limitations, so, but yeah. And I love standards. I love doing that Sinatra thing. I can approximate the Sinatra style, and, I love that. So yeah, whatever you're into, I'm probably there.
Awesome.
So Jessica, give your website links, social media links.
All right, just my first and last name on Facebook, Jessica Heim, JESSICAHEIM, like I'm Jessica. It's a horrible joke, but I use it all the time. And on Instagram, it's @JessicaHeim7.
And Greg, for you and BIFF?
For me, it's the BeloitFilmFest.org is our website, and just search for Beloit Film Fest at Facebook. You'll find our page there, as well as at Instagram. We have presences there. We have a Twitter account too, but I don't know that we don't really use the Twitter account that much. But we're on all of those. So if you just do a search for Beloit International Film Festival, you'll find us.
Hey, and what have you been, before you get away, what have you been watching movie-wise? What was the number one film that BIFF put out last year that won?
Well, I would say that my favorite film from the last BIFF was a thing called Francis Ferguson by a filmmaker named Bob Byington. And it was just a great sort of dark, quirky comedy that I just thought was really inventive and captured your imagination. I think it represented a raising of the bar on the quality of films that we've been showing at BIFF. And we had another film from Canada called The Grizzlies, which was just so well done. And it was really a universal audience crowd pleaser here. I mean, it was a kind of film that it had a lot, there was a lot of human triumph and tragedy in it, great, based on a true story. And it was one of those films where people would be clapping in the middle of the movie because the hero prevailed, you know, and there was just an outburst of applause at the end of the movie. You just don't see that in theaters so often anymore, you know, and it was really nice to see that our audiences embrace that film as well. So those would be my two favorites, The Grizzlies and Francis Ferguson.
All right, I want to thank everybody. This is Brian Sebastian, Movie Reviews and More, WomenOnTV.tv and IT247 out of Tennessee, and we will see you next time. And if you see someone without a smile, please give them one of yours because we all need it.